Hey Emily, making you a little video for your hip flexor. So this should just be a little easy protocol that you can follow that should help with your hip pain. It's simple, it's best to start there, it should help. Give me feedback on how it works and, and we can kind of go from there. So first, we need to like release the muscle. Like I think the best thing is like tame the muscle down. The muscle is kind of upset. So what you're going to want to use is like a foam roller. This is like a fancy foam roller. A simple one is fine. Or you can use a ball. This is a lacrosse ball, but like a tennis ball is fine also. And basically when you're talking about a hip flexor, it's just this area between like your thigh and like your pelvis. And we're just going to get this general area. So you'll lie down on like a foam roller or anything and just keep the legs straight, although relax it. I mean, it's pretty much straight. And just kind of get the top of the thigh. Probably pretty sore. Like I'm getting mine and it's sore, definitely. Any sore spots, just sort of stop on. I think it'd be best to be consistent at this, so just do it for 30 seconds to a minute before you do your yoga. And if you're not doing it before yoga, maybe spend a little bit more time, but I don't want this to be overly like burdensome. I want it to be short and sweet and to the point. After you get the top of the leg in this more face down position, but getting the outside of the leg, like out here instead of here, you can go straight to the side. And you're going to get the area above the hip bone. So the hip bone's like the top of your leg bone there, but below the top of the pelvis. So there's sort of it's like the outside of your butt, basically. And you're going to get that area. I'm using a foam roller for both. This one is definitely the one that works really good with the ball. And just lie all the way down for the ball. But basically this direct pressure can be really intense, and it should be obvious when you get on the spot as to whether you're on it or not. And just know that pain, if you're receiving pain signals, it means that area is like flared up and tensed up. And that's exactly what you want to focus on, because you're trying to release, you're trying to signal, hey, release it. So after you've released the muscles, the next thing to do is going to be to stretch them. And so I think this little active stretch is probably one of the more effective ways to do it, and I call it the hip compass. So what you'll do is if it's your left hip, then your left knee will stay on the ground. Although this can definitely be a little series that you do alternating or on the left side and then the right side. But it's the hip compass. And so it doesn't really matter which direction north is, but just for you, it's straightforward. So you're just going to go north and just stretch into it. When you do kind of squeeze your butt, just go in and then back. And then you'll go like northeast. So a little bit of a diagonal. Some people that are like, well, that's not actually northeast. You can be like, okay, 130. You're going to go to 130. And then we're going to go to 3. And these are really like hip openers. So they're like warrior. You're like, oh, hip opener. And you're like, this is my hip flexor hip. But when you go straight ahead, you'll feel a pull right there. That's a good thing. You'll feel it on your hip flexor. And then if you go if you cross this line, it's a little bit tricky to balance, but this will get the outside of the hip. So when you're doing your other leg, and you do your 12 o'clock, 10:30, 9, and then when you come across over to 1 o'clock or whatever, you'll get a good stretch like on the outside of your hip. And we're in the ballpark of this area that's bugging you, so you might get some deferred like benefits, even if it doesn't hit the exact spot. So hip compass warm up, post foam roll. Okay, so we've got an overactive hip flexor muscle, allegedly. And so basically what we want to do is we want to release it, which we did with the rolling, stretch it or lengthen it, which we did with the kind of dynamic stretch warm up of the hip compass. And now we want to exercise the muscles like the opposing muscles, because usually when you have like an overactive muscle, there's like an underactive muscle also, or like a, something somewhere else that's not doing its job. So we're going to target the glutes. And so your two exercises are going to be a bridge, and there's sort of a bridge progression. So you can just do like a bridge like this. When you lift your hips up, squeeze, and maybe hold this for like 10 seconds. Squeeze, hold. Okay, do a set of 10, one set of 10. And then number 2, you're going to do a marching type thing. So you will do a single leg bridge, and as you do your single leg bridge, bring your other knee up like this. So it'll be down and up, down and up. But what you have here, this is hip extension because your glute muscle has extended the leg to be in line with the body, and this is hip flexion. So you're just going through basic range of motion with an exercise. 10 reps per side. Do them slow. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one set, 3 seconds up, 2-second pause, 4 seconds on the way down. And you should feel like your hamstring and your glute muscles warming up and turning on. All right, last one. So that's the glute. And again, I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just showing you with whichever hip. But you're going to do both sides regardless. The last one is going to be glute medius and hip abductor exercise. Other muscle groups that help kind of just help your hip flexor do its job without only the hip flexor doing the job. So you're going to do hip abduction, and what you're going to do is you're just going to make sure that your body's in really good alignment, and you're going to raise your leg up, and you're going to hold for 6 seconds. Go up as high as you can. If your leg rotates and you get it up this high, you're doing it wrong. You're using your hip flexor. So this can be a good one to be like up against a wall so that your body's actually in a straight line. Like the leg will like to sneak up, and then the hip flexor kicks in. So up against the wall is good. And keep your ankle flexed, toe up. And when you raise it up, you should feel this muscle right here. So like here's the midline of your femur. Behind that midline, that's the muscle group that you're trying to activate. So you go up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down, and then up again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down. And what I do is I'll have like a timer, like a clock, and I'll raise my leg up. So from 0 seconds, I'll raise my leg up until it gets to 6, and then I lower it down, and then like 4 seconds down, and then back up. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and I just kind of keep going. And it really gets hard. It gets really hard. And it's another exercise to just help activate other muscles. And I'm hoping that these other muscles can work in lieu of your hip flexor. And the whole like little protocol there should take like 10 maybe 15 minutes at the max. And it should help your hip flexor. So anyways, good luck. Bye.